Welcome back, everyone. We're going to talk about texting and driving here, and we've heard so much about it over the last couple of years as it pertains to teens, but everybody's involved in this. Distracted driving and also drunk driving, such a problem on roads in this country. And we bring in Wood County Sheriff Mark Vasilishin. Good to see you, as always, Sheriff. First of all, the texting and driving issue. I know at Elmwood High School, they had used to be the mock crash was all about drinking and driving. Yes. And now you have this other factor that's come into play. And I know you've done a lot of research, and I know that authorities have on the texting and driving issue, Mark. And we've heard some things now that it's as dangerous as drinking and driving. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it is very, very dangerous. The difference, and again, I play devil's advocate on this, the difference is if someone that's texting gets their attention or they start going off the road, they sober up very quickly. They still very likely crash, but a drunk driver, no matter what you do, you're still drunk, so you can't snap out of it. But it is extremely dangerous that the average time someone looks at a text is 5 seconds, and in 5 seconds at 55 miles an hour, you can go 100 yards. A lot can happen in 100 yards. Cars pulled out, things happen, drift off the road. Right. We have had several fatal crashes, of which, again, it's difficult to prove. We feel were directly attributed to texting and driving. It's the way young people communicate. It's their way. Yeah. If you talk to someone under 25, the best way to get a hold of them to have a conversation, even when they're right next to you, I think, is the texting. It's amazing to watch.
It's beneficial for all of us. I mean, that mode of communication. Yes. There's no doubt about it.
And the difficulty is when people feel, because I guess the etiquette with emails, you get back to it whenever. Phone calls go to voicemail. The etiquette with text seems to be, I got to reply right now. Yeah. I got to get back with the person right away. And the challenge is getting people to not do that while they're driving, and I see it a lot. Very difficult for us to prove, but it's out there. So thanks to your story, we have had other school districts contact us to do more educating. The key with young people is educating and showing them how dangerous it is to text and drive.
How do you know you're getting through?
Well, I'll tell you why. I was there for several hours when we did the program with the golf carts. We had the carts from Welsh Golf Carts, and the students were driving them. When they got off the carts, I said, well, how'd you do? And they said, well, I only hit a few pylons. I said, great, then you only hit a few people.
Just a few.
Exactly, and it's hard, once they see that and they feel hitting the pylons, and when they were, because what we'd made them do is they had to read the text and reply to text while they're driving a golf cart through a tight course, and they couldn't do it. And when you show them they can't, they can talk all day, they're invincible at that age, they're the best drivers in the world when they're teenagers, so they think. When you show them, wow, you couldn't do it. You were not able to do one lap around the track without hitting some pylons, you need to reevaluate. And we did have several students say, wow, I didn't realize what I was doing.
Well, this is not a teen problem, it's a people problem,
it's a people
right?
problem.
I mean, no question about it. I don't, I think that, I don't know what the percentage is of people who do text, but it's certainly of all ages. We're all doing it.
Yes.
Pushed by the National Transportation Safety Board this past week to bring the United States in line with much of the rest of the world, the illegal blood alcohol content in this country, 0.08, the push to bring it down to 0.05. And your thoughts on that from a law enforcement perspective?
You know, it's difficult. You're right. When we look at other parts of the world, from Japan being 0 to other parts of the world being 0.02.
Zero. In Japan,
zero. Japan at 0.
You drink and you have any alcohol in your
correct.
system.
And other countries are very low, 0.02. It's what our society, we elect the people that make the laws. And I don't know that our society is ready to go to 0.05 because that really does limit someone down to, depending on their size, a couple drinks. Yes, we know that people are slightly impaired at 0.05. Again, we could have our speed limit be 20 miles an hour, and we could probably almost eliminate fatal crashes. We might have a few people, it would be much safer. But is our society willing to have a maximum speed limit with governors on cars at 20 miles an hour? I don't think so. I don't know if we're ready for a 0.05.
Right. Tell the restaurateur, hey, you can't serve that person 2 drinks, right? Correct. I mean, I think it's 1 drink for a woman who's 120 pounds, and maybe 2. Two for a man.
Two for a man. Average is going to be getting them into the zone where they could be. And a lot of it, there are some factors: body fat percentage versus muscle. People that have more body fat, the fat absorbs it, so it goes into the blood a little bit slower.
How much you're eating?
How much you're eating? Empty stomach, full stomach will depend on the length of time that it gets into your bloodstream. So
things happen slowly. These changes do tend to happen slowly. Didn't it used to be higher though?
It used to be. Oh yes, absolutely. It's 0.10. 0.10, absolutely.
And not that long ago.
Not that long ago. And juveniles are 0.02. So that's the other factor. So they've already got the juveniles at 0.02. So the interesting, which of course is illegal for young people to drink anyway.
Of course.
But if you're a juvenile, it's 0.02 for presumed guilt at the DUI level.
And we're talking about texting and driving, but where are we on teenagers drinking and driving? Because we've been driving this point home forever now. And the tragic situation in Ottawa Hills, by all accounts, an upstanding young man who made a bad decision.
Yes.
Where are we in that fight?
I think that's always going to be a fight, just like the texting and driving. We always have to work on the engineering to have cars be safe, road signage to be safe. That's where I deal with Teresa Pollack a lot on signage issue with all the state routes we have in Wood County. We're on speed dial with each other. The other issue is the education. You have to educate young people the dangers of it. And you always have to re-educate because there's a new flock of students coming in. So we're always doing the education part, and then certainly the consistent enforcement. We have a zero tolerance with juveniles drinking and driving in Wood County. We're going to continue that because we have to. Yeah. It's their number one killer for young people between, I believe, the ages of 15 and 22 is automobile crashes. Number one killer, whether it's because of the texting and driving, whether it's because of speed,
or other distractions.
Yeah. We know that multiple people in a car is a huge distraction too. More people you have in a car for a juvenile, the much likely it is they're going to get in a new crash.
Sheriff Vasilishin, thanks as always. Thanks for the work you do. We appreciate it. We'll see you down the road this summer.
Thank you very much.
Come back in just a minute. Take Three's next.